Hello, we're out investigating the damage from Hurricane Michael that came across the Florida Panhandle, came up through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and then to Virginia. That was last night. Unfortunately, the storm was going pretty fast. It dumped a lot of rain. We had flash flooding, tornado warnings. But I'm out investigating what the damage is. In our area here, you see the peppers completely blown over, which is interesting. It means the wind came from this direction, which is north, kind of going towards the south. That's unusual. So I will come out here and pick some of the weight off of this and then see if we can block them up. You see the leaves are already starting to kind of wilt, so I'll have to see if anything's broken. Here in the path, our cardboard has blown over. That's not too bad in the scheme of things. We'll just put it back here. That's why I put rocks or bricks on it to hold it down. Usually once it's wet, it conforms to the ground and we don't have to worry about it. So over here, you see this cardboard was fine, and this cardboard here is wet enough that it's conformed to the ground and didn't blow away. It's one of the reasons I like to use cardboard on my paths. Most of the garden with the trellis, the bean trellis, it did fine. The main problem, the boss of the house had told me that he came out and he saw that our tall okra here, one of the two stalks just completely fell over, and he had to come out, and he's already attached it here to try and pull it back, to try and keep it from breaking off. This is important to me also because this is one that has my beans trellised. And so if you remember our nor'easter beans, see these nice beans here on this okra, I definitely don't want the okra to flop over and hurt the beans. I'll come out and I'll pick those, and then we'll see if we can keep that okra going. The main stem of the okra stayed sturdy, and you can see it is very tall. The boss of the house is still picking okras off of this okra plant. This was the worst damage. This was my trellis where I have the northeaster bean and the scarlet runner bean that I showed in my previous video. And of course they were producing nice beans, and I had picked a lot of them. There's also a tomato in here that is producing tomatoes still. So this was a blow to have this blow over. It just broke, came apart, and the wind just blew it over. I'm looking to see if the thing survived, and what I can see here is the bean comes here and then it's really tight against this tomato, but it looks like it's still intact. In fact, it may be the bean stem, which is really tough, that's holding all of this from completely falling. Here the tomato is actually bent here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully undo all of the ties and try and stretch out the beans and the tomato, and then we'll put some stakes in. I had wanted to get rid of this trellis for next year anyway because it was a temporary thing and it's not very good looking. And so we will put stakes and see if that works. So I'm just carefully unhooking, unwinding each vine. I just have to find an end and then carefully unwind it. And then as I'm unwinding it and taking it off of the tomato, I'm moving the tomato vines towards this side and the beans towards this side, just to kind of separate them. The beans did a wonderful job of trellising up the tomato plant and intertwining. That may be what saved everything, was the fact that they were so closely hooked together. Especially right here, where the vines are so intertwined that there's not going to be any way to undo the beans from the tomatoes and keep both of the vines intact. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to attach this more securely to the posts, maybe put in another post or two to attach some of the tomato directly to it, and this way I've kind of pushed most of the tomatoes one direction and most of the beans this other direction, and we'll see. It looks like everything survived, and so we'll see if we can keep them going for a little longer, since they are producing well, both tomatoes and beans. So the longer we can keep them happy, the longer we will be harvesting. So here we have it. It survived. We've put it back together. We'll see if we can help it limp along a little longer. The longer I can be harvesting, the better. Have a great day.